Joining me now is Richard Schoenstein. He is a trial attorney who has been closely following the case. Richard, thank you for being here. First of all, do you think Alec Baldwin has a case here?
Well, Brian, good to be here. It's important to put this case in context. This wasn't a new case brought by Alec Baldwin. This is a case that was brought by the film's script supervisor for emotional distress against Baldwin and some other entities and people. Baldwin is filed here what's called a cross complaint, where he's bringing in other defendants and essentially saying, it's not my fault, it's the fault of these other people. And he names 4 individuals, as you say, lower level people who worked on the movie. So it's not an affirmative complaint of his, it's more of a deflection.
I see. That's a really good point. So he is basically doing this because another suit was filed, and this, in a sense, is his response. I mean, does it matter legally in civil court at the end of the day that he fired the gun? Or could the people who loaded the gun and set it all up actually be responsible?
Well, sure. In terms of figuring out liability, that's for a finder of fact to determine. If they find it was reasonable for him as an actor on the set to assume that the gun didn't contain live ammunition and feel safe firing it, then a jury could certainly make that decision. And similarly, a jury could decide it was the fault of other people who should have kept live ammunition out of the gun, or even of the film's producers or production company or whatever. That could be determined by a fact finder.
So, I mean, I think maybe you explained this by saying that he was filing this in response, but so it's not like he's trying to get money from these crew members, or is he? Because, I mean, that seems sort of strange. I would imagine these crew members wouldn't have a ton of money.
Yeah, when you first heard about this thing, you thought, oh no, what is Baldwin doing? I mean, is he pointing his trigger finger at some other people? That sounds terrible. But I think this is for 2 reasons. One, he may be trying to get at other insurance companies that cover these other individuals to draw them into the case, to pull together a pool of money that can settle it and get rid of the case. But secondly, he does, in the body of the complaint, he lays out in great detail his view of the facts. And I think he's doing that on purpose. Maybe it's because of this investigation going on. He wants to put out his story publicly. Maybe it's kind of a press release, which is successful. We're talking about it tonight. He's getting his story out there. I don't think he's trying to get money from the prop director. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't seem to make much sense. Okay, you heard what we were saying about the DA and the possibility of criminal charges and the fact that he was named in that letter. She's trying to get all this money for the investigation. What do you think the chances are? I mean, could we see him arrested, put in handcuffs?
I doubt it personally. I think that would be a better question for someone who knows more about the inner workings of the prosecutors in Los Angeles than I do. I'm on the wrong coast for that. But it seems to me a stretch if we're taking care of the civil litigation. And remember, again, the victim's family, her descendants already sued. That case has already been settled. They're getting a substantial payout. So the victim's been taken care of. I don't know why the prosecutor would feel it necessary to bring charges unless something really, really egregious happened here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It seems like a lot of money that she's asking for, though. She's obviously up to something. Richard Schoenstein, thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate it.
Great to see you, Brian.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.